is measureless, his sensitivity almost unfathomable, Shakespeare's, and his understanding of the human mind, the human psyche, is so miraculously, amazingly wonderful. Shakespeare's range is unlimited. He has personified his characters, he has given language, his language has power. Now, he could have just written plays and stopped at that, but sonnets attracted him. Sonnet in French means sonner, sonner les matinées, ring the morning bells. Sonner means to ring, sonner les matinées. A sonnet attracts poets. I myself love to write sonnets because in a brief one impact you can put your ideas. Sri Aurobindo has written about 79 sonnets. Shakespeare wrote 156 or so. You have the sonnets of from the Portuguese of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Don't miss that. If you love literature, read the sonnets of Elizabeth Barrett Browning, pouring her heart out, her love for Robert Browning, her husband. She never gave those sonnets to him. She just wrote them and tucked them in the locker, trunk. After she passed away, he discovered them, and imagine the joy. My goodness, they're such beautiful sonnets. The book is titled Sonnets from the Portuguese by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Lord Sri Aurobindo, who is my guru, I love to call him Lord Sri Aurobindo. He was a man of finest language. His sonnets are beautiful, but they are all spiritual. One of his, there are numerous, one. He addresses the divine. Because thou art all beauty and all bliss, my soul blind and enamored yearns for thee. Because thou art all beauty and all bliss, my soul blind and enamored yearns for thee. It meets thy mystic touch in all that is, and thrills with the burden of that ecstasy. And the sonnet goes on. Sri Aurobindo has that sublimity in his writings. He takes you, lifts you up to sublime heights. So, if you love literature, please read Anita Nair's books and attend to his presentations and workshops, which I would love to attend to, and don't miss reading Sri Aurobindo's literature. That's a great self-education. Thank you very much. Now I will give them the stage, and please let us enjoy their presentations. Thank you.
As Carol would say, we start at the beginning. So I'll start with Sonnet 1.
We're going through the 154.
So just to make sure that we start with Sonnet 1, and then you can move to the next one. From fairest creatures we desire increase, that thereby beauty's rose might never die. But as the riper should by time's disease, his tender air might bear his memory. But thou, contracted to thine own bright eyes, feedest thy lights flame with self-substantial fuel, making a famine where abundance lies, thyself, thy foe, to thy sweet self too cruel. Thou art now the world's fresh ornament, and only herald to the gaudy spring. Within thine own bud buries thy content, and tender churl makest waste in niggarding. Pity the world, or else this glutton be, to eat the world's due by the grave and thee.
The moment you mention the word sonnet, people think of love lyrics. But this man is saucy, he is ugly, he is wicked, he is very, very self-critical. And of course, he does have his muse, his lady loves. And all of these 154 tend to tangle back and forth, and you can literally, we would ask my Vasant to pick 8, and I picked 8, but I could actually open this 20 page. This is 17. Who will you believe my verse in time to come, if it were filled with your most high deserts? though yet heaven knows it is but as a tomb, which hides your life and shows not half your parts. If I could write the beauty of your eyes, and in fresh numbers number all your graces, the age to come would say, this poet lies. Such heavenly touches ne'er touched earthly faces. So should my papers yellowed with their age, but scorned like old men of less truth than tongue. And your truth writes we term a poet's rage, and stretched meter of an antique song. But were some child of yours alive that time, you should live twice, in it and in my rhyme.
Okay, I'm going 2 sonnets back, and this is sonnet 15. And you know, one of the things that I found interesting, and since I do write poetry myself, is that I mean, we do consider, like Jagadish said, that sonnets have always been love sonnets, but sometimes, even when they are love sonnets, Shakespeare gives them a certain twist. It's a kind of, I think, wry and a little cynical love, but it nevertheless is love. When I consider everything that grows, holds in perfection but a little moment, that this huge stage presenteth not but shows, whereon the stars in secret influence comment. When I perceive that men as plants increase, cheered and checked even by the self-same sky, wont in their youthful sap at height decrease, and wear their brave state out of memory, then the conceit of this inconstant stay sets you most rich in youth before my sight, where wasteful time debated with decay to change your day of youth to sullied night, and all in war with time for love of you. As he takes from you, I engraft you new.
I'm moving forward to number 48. How careful was I when I took my way, each trifle under truest bars of trust, that to my use it might unused stay from hands of falsehood, ensure wards of trust. But thou, to whom my jeweled trifles are, most worthy comfort, how my greatest grief, though best of dearest and mine only care, art left the prey of every vulgar thief. Thee have I not locked up in my any chest, save where thou art not, though I feel thou art. Within the gentle closure of my breast, from whence at pleasure thou mayst come and part. And even thence thou wilt be stolen, I fear, for truth proves thievish, for pride so dear.
This is one of my favorite ones. This is actually sonnet 47. Weary with toil, I haste me to my bed, the dear repose for limbs with travel tired. But then begins a journey in my head to work my mind when body's work's expired. For then my thoughts, from far where I abide, intend a zealous pilgrimage to thee, and keep my drooping eyelids wide, looking on darkness which the blind do see. Save that my soul's imaginary sight presents thy shadow to my sightless view, which like a jewel hung in ghastly night makes black night beauteous and her old face new. Lo, thus by day my limbs, by night my mind, for thee and for myself no quiet find.
Oh, how much more doth beauty beauteous seem by that sweet ornament which truth doth give. The rose looks fair, but fairer we deem for that sweet odor which doth in it live. The canker blooms have full as deep a dye as the perfumed tincture of the roses. Hang on such thorns and play as wantonly when summer's breath their masked buds disgraces. But for their virtue only is their show. They live unwooed and unrespected fade. Die to themselves. Sweet roses do not see. Of their sweet deaths are sweetest odors made. And so of you, beauteous and lovely youth, when that shall fade, thy verse distills your truth.
This is 91. Some glory in their birth, some in their skill, some in their wealth, some in their body's force, some in their garments, though newfangled ill, some in their hawks and hounds, some in their horse. And every humour hath his adjunct pleasure, wherein it finds a joy above the rest. But these particulars are not my measure. All these I better in one general best. Thy love is better than high birth to me, richer than wealth, prouder than garments cost, of more delight than hawks and horses be. And having thee, of all men's pride I boast, wretched in this alone, that thou mayest take all this away, and me most wretched make.
Right. 57. Being your slave, why should I but tend upon the hours and times of your desire? I have no precious time at all to spend, nor services to do till you require. Nor dare I chide the world without end hour, whilst I, my sovereign, watch the clock for you. Not think the bitterness of absence sour, when you have bid your servant once. How dare I question with my jealous thought where you may be and your affairs suppose, but like a sad slave stay and think of naught, save where you are, how happy you may close. So true a fool is love, that in your will, though you may do anything, he thinks no way.
Okay, this is 116 and one of Shakespeare's rather well-known sonnets. We did try quite hard not to do the much quoted ones, but I kind of succumbed to this because I do rather like this one very much. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with a remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love is not time's fool, the rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters naught with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me be proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved.
I got stuck in this. Something to do with my age. If there be nothing new but that which is, hath been before, how are our brains beguiled, which, labouring for invention, bear amidst the second burden of a former child? Oh, that record could, with a backward look, even of 500 courses of the sun, show me your image in some antique book, since mine at first in character was done, that I might see what the old world could say to this composite wonder of your frame, whether we are mended or whether better they, or whether revolution be the same. Oh, sure I am. The wits of former days to subjects worse than have given admiring praise.
This is 144. I think one of the good things about this exercise is I've learned all my Roman letters again, all the C's and X and L's and so on.
Yeah, that's what she said.
And this one, I think, all of us would kind of resonate with even this time and age. Two loves I have of comfort and despair, which like two spirits do suggest me still. The better angel is a man right fair, the worse a spirit, a woman colored ill. To win me soon to hell, my female evil tempted my better angel from my side, and would corrupt my saint to be a devil, wooing his purity with her foul pride. And whether that my angel be turned fiend, suspect I may, yet not directly tell, but being both from me, both to each friend, I guess one angel is another's hell. Yet this shall I never know, but live in doubt, till my bad angel fire my good one out.
Misogynist. No longer mourn for me when I am dead. Then you shall hear the surly sudden bell give warning to the world that I am fled from this vile world with vilest worms together. Nay, if you read this line, remember not that hand that writ it, for I love you so, that in your sweet thoughts would be forgot, if thinking on me then should make you bold. Oh, if I say you look upon this verse, when I perhaps compounded am with clay, do not so much as my poor name rehearse, but let your love even with my life betray. Lest the wise world should look into your moan and mock you with me after I am 400 years later, still around.
This one is 77, and I'm very, very sure that he wrote this for Queen Elizabeth. So oft have I invoked thee for my muse, and found such fair assistance in my verse, as every alien pen hath got my use, and under thee their poesy disperse. Thine eyes, that taught the dumb on high to sing, and heavy ignorance aloft to fly, have added feathers to the learned's wing, and given grace a double majesty. Yet be most proud of that which I compile, whose influence is thine, and born of thee. In others' works thou dost but mend the style, and arts with thy sweet graces graced be. But thou art all my art, and dost advance as high as learning my rude ignorance.
And he lived to be 52, which was 400 years ago, I suppose, a full life. But he was so obsessed with the end, the finality of life. That time of year thou mayst in me behold, when yellow leaves or none or few do hang upon these boughs which shake against the cold, bare ruined choirs where late the sweet birds sang. In me thou seest the twilight of such day, as after sunset fadeth in the west, which by and by black night doth take away, death's second self that seals up all in rest. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire, that on the ashes of his youth doth lie, and the deathbed whereupon it must expire, consumed that which was nourished by him. This thou perceivest, which makes thy love more strong, to love that well which thou must leave ere long.
This is 146, and the later sonnets are considered as more philosophical ones, more introspective, talks about death much more than he does in the earlier ones. Poor soul, the center of my sinful earth, pressed by those rebel powers that thee array, why dost thou pine within and suffer dearth, painting thy outward walls so costly gay? Why so large cost, having so short a lease, dost thou upon thy fading mansion spend? Shall worms, inheritors of this excess, eat up thy charge? Is this thy body's end? Then, soul, live thou upon thy servant's loss, and let that pine to aggravate thy store, by terms divine in selling hours of dross, within be fed, without be rich no more. So shalt thou feed on death that feeds on men, and death once dead, there's no more dying then.
Well, strange that I've got one just before. Those lips that love's own hand did make, breathed forth the sound that said, I hate. To me that languished for her sake, but when she saw my woeful state, straight in her heart did mercy come. Chiding that tongue that ever sweet was used in giving gentle doom, and taught it thus anew to greet, I hate, she altered with an end. That followed, it is gentle day. Hath followed night, who like a fiend from heaven to hell is flown away. I hate, from hate away she threw, and saved my life, saying,
Oh.